Okay, so we do have a massive update for the FC Barcelona world. This freaking club, man, I swear. But in this video, we are going to be talking about the conflict that is arising between Ter Stegen and Joan Laporta. We're also going to be talking about the shift in who is going to become the main captains within this squad. There is plenty that we do have to discuss for today's video. I hope you guys do enjoy this one. So let's talk about the Marc-André Ter Stegen saga first. Because all of this started with Marc-André Ter Stegen refusing to sign his own medical report, meaning that his signature that he was supposed to do would have allowed Barcelona to access 80% of his salary for the financial fair play purposes to register the players that we have to register, like Joan Garcia, like Marcus Rashford, like Rooney Bardi. Instead, Ter Stegen decided to block this whole thing, all of these operations, only because he does not want to sign the damn paper, the medical report, and now the club is very furious. Barcelona did hope to use Ter Stegen's long-term injury status to create emergency registration space. It's a legal mechanism, but in order to do this, the player must sign off on the medical report. Once again, Ter Stegen did refuse. He did not even attend the scheduled meeting to discuss this whole thing. As a matter of fact, the club doctors called him to ask for the signature, but Ter Stegen did not even respond. Eventually, one of his agents did call the club and informed them that Ter Stegen would not be signing no papers. Keep in mind that if Ter Stegen does sign that paper, he's basically agreeing that he's going to be out for 4 to 5 months, which he is, but on their view, on Ter Stegen's camp, they believe that he's only going to be out for like 3 months. What Barcelona need is a 4 to 5 month signature, which would give La Liga the green light to give Barcelona the 80% salary space. On Barcelona's stance, they do believe that Ter Stegen is acting in bad faith and is harming both the club and his teammates who are waiting to be registered. Barcelona are now open to an official disciplinary file against him and is discussing a possible sanction. So yes, it's getting that serious. And according to Mundo, Barcelona believe that this whole conflict, this whole thing began when Flick benched Ter Stegen against Athletic Club in the final match for the 2024-2025 season. And the reason why this matters is because Barcelona did not want to pay an extra 3.5 million euros in bonuses to Ter Stegen, because if Ter Stegen were to feature in that game, it would greenlight him on playing 60% of the games that he was available for. And that is the reason why Barcelona had to sit out Ter Stegen. They did not want to pay the extra bonuses, and to Ter Stegen, he was extremely mad about this whole thing. The club also feels that Ter Stegen has been holding this grudge into the new season, and that is the reason why he refuses to sign any report, and Barcelona are stunned. They're stunned that a captain that represents FC Barcelona would act in this way, and especially in this moment, knowing our economic difficulty. One of the journalists named Fernando Polo came out with a huge statement, and this is what he said. Barcelona believe that the attitude of captain Ter Stegen is unacceptable because it causes economic and sporting harm to the club. Flick and Deco both believed it was time to sign another goalkeeper as well, and Ter Stegen is coming off serious injuries, and so they told him that is the crux of the matter. And Barcelona's sporting decision for the goalkeeper position is very much clear. They only want Joan Garcia and Szczesny and nothing more. They have extended Szczesny for a reason for 2 more years, and they have also brought in Joan Garcia for a reason. That is because they do see these 2 goalkeepers as viable options, goalkeepers who have the ability to implement what Hansi Flick does want at the back. The journalist continues, instead of facing reality with greatness and generosity, Ter Stegen took it with resentment, and he seems to want to continue not for football but for his own pride. The club sees this as a lack of leadership and a shot in the foot. As a matter of fact, stepping away from this big statement from the journalist, I also want to pull out something else, right? One of the goalkeepers that we previously had back in 2014 and 2015, which was Claudio Bravo, also had an interview, but this was not this year. It was in the last year of 2024, and Claudio Bravo spoke about his relationship with Marc-André Ter Stegen, and this is what he said. Ter Stegen realized he couldn't get me out. I was champion, won the Zamora, and a set record of 7 straight games without conceding. He never truly accepted competition. There was no friendship between us, just rivalry. And so let me tell you, this is not the first time we have seen Ter Stegen try to cause this type of, I would just say, tension within the club. Ter Stegen was bothered knowing that another goalkeeper like Claudio Bravo 10 years ago was taking his minutes, to the point where he could not even really build a strong partnership or a strong relationship with his teammates. So let's pause on the Ter Stegen conversation for just a second, because I do want to speak about how Barcelona are still moving forward regardless whether Ter Stegen stays or not, because Barcelona are preparing for a new captain. They want to take out Ter Stegen and bring in a brand new first captain, and that is Frenkie de Jong. The new order could be Frenkie de Jong as the main captain for the club, with Raphinha in second, Araújo in third, Pedri in fourth, and then either Gavi or Inigo Martinez in 5th place. These are going to be the top 5 that Barcelona are looking at. Once again, Ter Stegen is no longer in the picture, and here's going to be the reason why, like my own opinion on why I believe Frenkie de Jong makes perfect sense on becoming our first captain. First of all, he is somebody who has averaged 40 plus appearances in 3 straight seasons so far and is a non-negotiable starter at the base of Flick's 4-2-3-1 system and 3-2-2-3 build-up. Frenkie is very important and he's being used constantly, and especially over the past few seasons. Barcelona really do depend on this CDM. His ball progression role means that he influences every phase as well, very similar to how Sergio Busquets had it a few years ago. Frenkie is important when it comes to us defending. Frenkie is important when it comes to us attacking. So if you do have a player who is important in every phase of your play within the field, that player has to be considered as one of our captains, and that is why Frenkie is being seen as a first captain. Also keep in mind that he is one of the few within the squad that is very fluent in multiple languages. Frenkie knows how to speak Spanish, Catalan, English, and Dutch, so he can communicate with many of the players in the squad, and that's very important. He's also very much respected by the players in La Masia, right, these graduates who do come into the first team, and also respected by a lot of seniors, especially with Raphinha, who publicly just called him the calm voice that everyone does trust. He has also already captained Barcelona in 9 official matches without controversy. I do think that it does make a lot of sense to hear that Frenkie is going to be our main one, because if you also look at what's happening outside of the pitch, Barcelona want to renew Frenkie de Jong for more years and potentially renew Frenkie until 2029 or 2030. He's going to be 28 years old next season, and I think that he does offer 5 really good years in the midfield and to play next to Pedri and Gavi, 2 youngsters. So Frenkie is older than Pedri and Gavi, but he is still young enough to grow with them. So the fact that he has been very consistent over the past few years, the fact that he's also multilingual, he has maturity, he knows and understands Pedri and Gavi, I think that yes, Frenkie should be our number one. As for the other players like Raphinha is very vocal, very extroverted. He does emotionally connect with his South American core, meaning that he's out there like really screaming at the players, really trying to make a name for himself. He has that type of aggression in terms of how he does press, how he does play, how he does attack. He even stated that being a Barcelona captain is a dream and it's a source of pride. I mean, like, look at what happened with Raphinha last season and how he did come up in very critical moments. We need a player like him, somebody who does lead the press from the wing and embraces the intensity that Flick does require. With Araújo and Pedri, that's okay. I'm fine with it. I know that with Araújo, it does come with a lot of baggage. Many have stated that Araújo is no longer good enough for FC Barcelona. We can also see that on the pitch, but I believe that with Araújo having that type of mentality to say the best of Araújo is yet to come, then we'll see. If Araújo wants to be one of our captains, no worries. He has been with us since 2020 or 2019. He has been very consistent in terms of him making appearances per season, and so it's okay, right? He can be our defensive leader. Pedri, that's okay. With Gavi, I would be very surprised to see that, Gavi becomes our 5th captain. He's still very young, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised because Gavi is a fighter. We have seen him in the past 3 preseason matches. Gavi wants to make a name for himself. All in all, if we do go down this route, it does excite me a lot because we're going to have players like Frenkie, Pedri, and Gavi who all play in the midfield become one of our captains. We're also going to be having Araújo or Inigo Martinez who play in the defense become one of our captains, and then we have Raphinha who does play in the attack become one of our captains. In every zone, there's somebody that's going to be able to speak up, which is really cool. And the fact that we're going to have this cultural balance that anybody can make it, right? Like, for example, we have European players becoming captains, South American players like Raphinha becoming captains, also some La Masia players potentially becoming captains like Gavi. It's going to give you that sense that for all players, anybody can become a captain when you do give it enough time. So now going back to the Ter Stegen conversation, remember, despite Ter Stegen blocking the 80% salary space path, Barcelona still hope to register Joan Garcia, Szczesny, Marcus Rashford, Gerard Martin, Rooney Barty, because they will also be able to use 21 million euros in financial fair play from the recent sales, VIP seat audits, and the Congo partnership deal. So Barcelona do have a plan B. It's just that the easiest route was by just letting go of Ter Stegen, and that is it. That's all you have to do. Even Joan Laporta has confirmed this in a recent interview not too long ago. Now, lastly, I do want to speak about the Camp Nou and how this whole thing is like opening up, because there has been a lot of questions on whether we're going to make it, whether we're going to be opening at 100% capacity. I'm going to be explaining what is going to be going on in the next few weeks. Just keep in mind that a lot of this is going to be very slow in terms of how we do re-enter the brand new Spotify Camp Nou. So Barcelona and the city council have agreed to reduce capacity from the original planned 62,000 people to just 27,000 people due to the ongoing delays in construction. So there is going to be 3 phases within the first phase to get to the 62,000 people, meaning within the first phase, we're going to have the tribuna plus the goal suit that's going to open up to 27,000 people. Then we're going to go on to the second phase and we're going to add the lateral stand, which increases to 45,000 people. And then in the third phase. Within the first phase, to get to the 62,000 people, we're going to be finishing Goal Nord, which returns us to the 62,000 people. Barcelona doesn't yet have permission to reopen by September 14th versus Valencia, and that is only because a lot of inspections and approvals are still required. All of this is very much like normal. We do need to have a lot of safety checks before we allow people in to a brand new building. So this reopening requires a first occupancy license. It's also going to require a ECA safety and prevention check. It's also going to require inspections from the city council, and lastly, green lights from the fire department and civil protection. Only then, once all of this is done, we'll be granted the permission. So all in all, the situation at Barcelona is very tense. To end this video, right, the captain is in open conflict with the club, which is wild to see. But let's get this very clear. Hansi Flick is building something with or without Ter Stegen. That is the reason why we have brought in Szczesny and Joan Garcia, is because we have our set goalkeeper options, and most importantly, we're moving Ter Stegen away from our captain list, meaning that we're going to be revolving our leadership around, as we discussed, with Frenkie, Raphinha, Araújo, Pedri, and Gavi or Inigo Martinez. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.